Today, I want to talk about the purpose of pain. Pain is often something we try to avoid, and it may absolutely be something we don't seek out, but avoiding can actually lead to more pain.
Children are great by their very nature, and we have the privilege and responsibility of raising them. It can be challenging at times. Let's talk about it.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Armstrong. I'm a general and a special education teacher. I homeschooled my own children for 5 years, and I talk about those things. I've researched, I've studied to really help resolve, and find solutions to a lot of the pain that I was in and that I saw my children and students in. So it may seem interesting that we don't want to avoid pain, but when you really think about it, it is an important part of our learning process. I know for me, pain was a huge motivator. It was a huge motivator to seek answers, to seek change in my life, where without that pain, I would not have sought out that change. Change in and of itself is uncomfortable. And sometimes when that pain outweighs the discomfort of change, then I was willing to change. But let's go ahead and take a little further step back. Now think about children. Now, children often experience pain, right? The younger they are, perhaps the more. They fall down and they hit their heads, or they're climbing on something and they slide off. Those are skills they haven't quite managed yet. And without that information, if you look at pain as information, then how much sense does it make to avoid pain, to avoid information? Right? It doesn't make as much sense. We need that information. That's part of our process. And I know I say need, but like we need nutrition, we need sleep, we need certain things to accomplish our goals, our tasks, our ability to enjoy life. And there's a lot wrapped around the word need. I need my children to be this way is more of a want than a need. This is something I need is an essential, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen instantly. And so there's not that hunger, that stress, that, I need it. But there is that motivation behind it that is kind of that healthy need, that move forward need, rather than that dependency, that addictive type of need. That's kind of a side for you. So getting back to the purpose of pain. Pain gives us information. If a child is climbing onto the chair, my grandnephew has recently moved in with me, and so he's just over a year, and he's learned to climb up onto the chair and sit at the table independently. But in that climbing onto the chair, he has fallen down a couple times, or slipped and caught on with his hand to keep him from tumbling all the way. And when those things have happened, he has, cried sometimes because the physical pain, if he's bumped himself, or that emotional pain that was that fear, like, oh my goodness, that just happened. But when we allow that pain, uh, uh, whether that's that emotional or physical pain, to stop us, then we are no longer learning. We're not taking in that information. Excuse me. And then, so if we're not taking in that information and we're not learning, then our growth stops. And then we begin to feel stuck and unmotivated and helpless and hopeless, right? So pain is a marvelous part of life. And again, we don't have to seek it out. It's part of the learning and the growing process. So when we take that pain and use it for its purpose, which is for information, then we go through that pain and learn. We don't keep doing that same thing over and over again. And our subconscious brain, if it's got a little bit of a reward for something, then it'll seek that reward again in the same way. And so we might say, well, why do I seem to like pain? Why do I keep going to pain? Perhaps I'm not seeking it out, but maybe subconsciously we're seeking it out because we have gotten a reward in the past. And when we're talking about young children, again, they're constantly falling or bumping into things or, causing themselves some pain in that way. And look at the different way parents might respond. They might, oh, that surprised you. Dust them off. Let's see. Are you all in one piece? Okay, you're good to go. Or they might just stand back and, come on, toughen up, get up. You got this. Or they might do the whole, oh, are you okay? Oh my goodness, that was so scary. I can't believe it. And they get like way over intense and involved in creating that. And each one gives that child information and a reward. For those parents who do kind of go, oh, and they're like so scared and startled and for their child, and they're creating that sense of, oh no, oh my goodness, I've got to come in and save you, rescue you, check everything out. That really can create, and again, every child connects things a little differently, and you can totally respond in a different way, but depending on what's going on in our child's brain, what they're feeling deficient in the moment, they can make any of these connections with that pain to, oh, okay, I feel loved. My parent checked in with me. Oh, when I experience this fear, this emotional fear, then I feel significant because my parent or someone around me comes in and helps me to feel that significance. And so there's the interpretation that we have given it earlier and like our response to our own pain, because children see that, and our response to our children's pain can create programs where our brain thinks, oh, this is how I meet a chemical need, because each of those psychological needs creates a feeling that then gives our brain that neurochemical reward for. And that leads us back to that pain. Accept that pain, accept that information, and we process through that pain and allow it to teach us and release it so much faster than if we avoid it, right? If we run away from the pain, then it sends us the message louder and louder and louder. For example, physical pain is one we're all aware of, right? Children who put their hand on the hot stove learn not to touch that hot stove. And the same thing goes as we're adults. If we've learned to ignore some of the pain or avoid some of the pain, then sometimes we just block it out. We might become overweight and then we're tired more, but we're going to ignore that. And eventually we end up with a heart attack. Oh, we can't ignore that anymore. Our body will talk louder and louder and louder to us to let us know what changes or growth we can make physically. And the same thing happens emotionally. And if you don't understand the process or that language of pain, and again, that's emotional pain. I'm experiencing something. I don't want to experience this emotion. I'm going to go play a video game. I'm going to go watch TV. I'm going to go read a book. I'm going to say, oh, I'm busy. I need to go help my neighbor. And we find ways to avoid really looking at that pain. And that's part of where we begin to cover up or hide our authenticity, our real selves. And then we go, wait, I don't know who I am. I don't understand. Well, we've avoided understanding, and not by any conscious choice, but because of our lack of knowledge and our lack of understanding of how the brain works and things like that. And so that is what I teach. I help teach a model, and that model is like a self-discovery tool that helps us to recognize pain, to recognize those things we're avoiding, and it helps us to step by step remember our authentic self, notice what our brain is subconsciously telling us, and those programs that we're subconsciously running that take us away from where we truly want to be. And we can see that often in our children. We go, ooh, I know, I've been there, I get that one. But our children haven't yet. And so we can think to just jump in and solve it for them. We want them to avoid the pain we felt. But what we're doing is we're helping them to avoid that opportunity for learning and for growth. And is that what we really want for our children? And the answer is yes and no. All right. There's always the extreme. If our child is suicidal, has self-harm, if it's something that's really going to impact their lives in a way they don't understand, we are parents. We do want to stop them, right? But in a way where we're letting them know, normally I would let you have this choice or have this experience, but because of the huge consequence that goes with that, I am going to put this in place, right? So when it comes to pain, there is that balance that comes with understanding the situation. Every person is unique. Every situation is unique. And so it really helps to have this model. It has been tremendous impact in my life and in the people that I know who use and practice this model. It allows us to kind of find what that is for us. Where do we allow experiences, and where do we kind of intervene or help a little more in those experiences? And it allows us to connect with ourselves. And that pain, if the message is heard, then that pain, we don't need it anymore. And our brain doesn't hold on to it. So if you have a cyclical pain, emotional pain, or even physical pain, there is that message that we haven't received yet in a way that allows us to make that change. So remember that children are great by their very natures, and we are like children ourselves, maybe not in age, but in our learning experience. And we have that greatness. We are great. And some of our patterns have helped to hide that from us. And as we notice our patterns, as we uncover them and learn from them, then we get to feel that again, that joy, that vibrancy, that thriving. And as we experience it, that is what we teach our children. I will see you next time.
Hi friends, Cynthia Armstrong here. Thanks for joining us today. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can see when new videos come out, and like this one. It is such a responsibility and a challenge to raise great kids, and we are here to help you along that journey to make it as enjoyable and fun and fulfilling as possible. Please check out our website, www.raisinggreatkids.net, and I will leave that in the description below.